and this is Kooloo, Limpah. Before I start, I do want to mention that the Taylor Davis Zelda album giveaway is still going on. Just visit Knights of Hyrule and, comment. That's all you have to do, chance to win her album. Mailbag time. Apona, I don't know. They ask, why doesn't Princess Zelda have a Termina parallel? In my opinion, there are just one of two answers. The first one is the one I think is less likely, and that is, I think that Ikana Valley and the whole kingdom that was there and is destroyed now was a parallel of Hyrule and is just blah and gone and dead now. Parallels don't have to exist at the same time. This is already proven with Cremia and Romani. Cremia being not only older than Romani, but also the parallel in Hyrule, Malin. So she was obviously born before her counterpart was born. But what I think the real reason is, ever since I played Skyward Sword, I kind of came to this conclusion of my own. Princess Zelda only exists because of what happened in Hyrule. In Hyrule, well technically before it was even called Hyrule, we had the goddess Hylia, and she pretty much decided to die, essentially, and reincarnate in order to be able to use the Triforce, which she didn't actually use it, she got Link to use it, so why she ever had to reincarnate in the first place is beyond me, but anyway, she did, and she became Zelda. So she gave up her goddess likeness, and became, immortal. So that's how Zelda came to be, and through her bloodline being passed down, Hyrule was created, founded, whatever, and there were princesses that kept her name and so on. When it comes to Termina, the same stuff just didn't happen. There wasn't a Hylia in Termina as far as we know, but even if there was, the same history that happened in Hyrule didn't happen in Termina, so there's no reason for a Hylia that was there, if there was one, to have reincarnated into Immortal and to become Zelda. So that's why she wouldn't have a parallel, there was just no need for it. Then Hilda Little Rule says, did any Zelda game ever scare you? Yeah, pretty much Redeads. Not the Wind Waker Redeads, just Ocarina of Time / Majora's Mask Redeads. They scare me. Like, honestly, that's why I could never do a live stream of a Zelda game like Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, because I'd be screaming into the mic because they scare me. I would throw the controller and run out of the room, and you guys wouldn't know where I would go. Probably wouldn't even come back for like an hour. I practically have an anxiety attack just going into the royal family tomb. I mean, Jesus Christ, I can't deal with it. That and the dead hand, oh my goodness. You guys, you really don't know how scared I get. Honestly, I get terrified. Like, I can play Resident Evil and I'll still get scared and have nightmares and all that stuff, but nothing truly horrifies me deep down in my core like the dead hand or Redeads. I don't know what it is, they just freak me out, dude. Aaron Charles says, what's your opinion on the timeline and where do you think Zelda Wii U will be on it? Well, I think the timeline is awfully convoluted, but we all know that. But they did their best and made everything canonical, and I'm glad they did and put together what they could have, even though there's, some little holes here and there. It is what it is, and it's great. In my opinion, I'm glad they did that because I'm sick of everybody theorizing. I mean, theorizing is good and great and all, but some people just got a little too carried away, so this shut some people up, and I personally like having facts to refer to. So now we have facts. But I also think Hyrule Historia is genius. What they do with the timeline, honestly, that was just perfect. Because now what they have is they can pretty much, whenever they want to create a new Zelda game, they can just stuff it in wherever they want. There's 3 branches, so there's a lot of room to play with there. When they started the series, we all know they didn't have a timeline in mind, but that's how it wound up. They started developing it a little late in the game and then kind of this mess. But now it's kind of fixed as best as it can be, for now anyway, but they can stuff any game that they want, wherever they want. As for Zelda Wii U, I think it'd be really cool if it took place after Twilight Princess. Not a direct sequel. I don't want to see any more Midna. I mean, I love her, but she needs to stay in her Twilight realm because her ending was perfect. But canonically, in-game history goes that after the whole thing with Midna and Xant and Ganon, pretty much the realms became aware of each other and there was a lot of strife between them. That is canonical fact now. So to see how that would affect each other in a new game, I would like to see that. I would like to see like involvement between the 2 realms. That'd be pretty cool. But honestly, I'd be happy if it wasn't even in the timeline at all. Chase asks, do you ever get annoyed by other Zelda fans or do you love us all? Okay, sometimes I get annoyed with some Zelda fans. I'll be honest. Like, I get really annoyed when people can't understand the difference between, like, just random dumb musings and theories. I love Zelda theories, but when people start pulling up all these theories and these ideas that have pretty much very little backing, very little canonical fact, it drives me up the wall. For Davis's game theories did that whole Link is dead theory, and honestly, I mean, some of his videos are cool and some are just not. I understand it's just what ifs and whatnot. But that theory on its own, I just think the idea is beyond retarded. I mean, he's got like some facts right as far as grief and how people deal with grief, but no, Link is not dead. And there are so many others, I can't even find a whole, I can't even list them all that just, or another thing that bothers me is trying to deal with other Zelda fans on like social media. I've been with other Zelda fans on forums because it sort of seems like they have at least some level of intelligence, but like on Google Plus or Twitter or Facebook or any of that kind of stuff, it's just like they're retarded. I know I'm just being kind of mean, and I don't mean to be, but I mean, if some of you I know will know what I'm talking about. It just hurts inside a little bit sometimes. Or I get annoyed when somebody says, "Oh, I love Zelda, I'm such a huge fan, but I've only played these 2 games." Like, no, you're a fan of those 2 games. You're not a fan of the whole series. Another thing that bothers me are fan artists who just kind of overly humanize Zelda characters. I mean, okay, there's so much meta fan art out there, but they all have her looking very, very human. Not that her true form isn't human, but it's still alien. Like, she's got that freaking giraffe neck, and nobody draws her with that neck. It's like they shrink it down and make her look like a regular human person, and she's not. She's got a freaking long-ass neck, and she's freaky looking. Or Ghirahim's another one. I mean, all these girls are making like sexy fan art of him, and he's not sexy. I mean, look at him. He has a protruding Neanderthal freaking brow ridge and no eyebrows. How is that attractive? You guys are weird. Stop doing that. I know fan art is fan art, and these fan arts are very beautiful, but I think these characters were made weird looking for a reason. That's what they kind of do. Like, Zelda characters are just weird looking. They always have been. But aside from my few rantings, I do generally love Zelda fans, other Zelda fans. I get really excited if somebody else knows what I'm talking about when I say Zelda, and they're like, "Oh, I play Zelda too," and I'm like, "Oh my god, let's get married." Okay, so that's it for this week's mailbag. Remember to follow on Facebook, Twitter, and all this stuff down there, blah, blah, blah. Comments and questions in the section below. You can also send your questions to mailbag@knightsohio.org. And once again, check out the Taylor Davis interview/giveaway, because if you win free music that is Zelda music, that kind of just makes you all that more awesome as a Zelda fan. And it's more awesome for giving it away, too. I'll see you guys next week. Bye!